Alright guys, we're gonna watch the Inside Star Citizen video.
One of the most anticipated aspects of the upcoming Alpha 323 has to be the persistent universe arrival of our new character customizer, enabling better representation and a true sense of ownership over your individual avatar in the verse. And to share with you the various ins and outs of what's ahead, let's throw it now to just a few folks standing in front of the massive team that made all of this possible.
The reality of the old character creator is that the old character creator could walk so that this one could run.
The original mandate was, let's just get the PU customizer working in Squadron with building blocks instead of Flash.
It was very bare bones. We hadn't had a lot of progress on it.
We had no design, we had no designer, or anyone else working on the project except me.
Basically, the task was make it look pretty.
The very, very first underpinnings of the character creator actually still exist. It's our DNA system.
In the old one, you could only blend between the different faces. Also, you could only blend from one face to another at a time.
The character customizer for Star Citizen is so important because players get ownership over their character. They're not just representing some player character that some artist has created, but they're representing themselves. We want the player to be able to represent themselves in the world and the universe that is Star Citizen.
Well, yeah, bro.
So the character customizer that's coming into Star Citizen in 323 is broken down into 4 main sections.
The first section of the character creator is the DNA system, and that's where the player actually interacts with the blending and the shape of the actual head itself.
It's still the same DNA system in terms of when we apply it to the characters. The difference is how we interact with that DNA system. So we've introduced face sculpting.
This is the big thing. So you can just grab these nodes on the face of the character that you have and shape it as you see fit.
What face sculpting allows us to do is, instead of saying, I want a certain proportion of a certain head, it allows us to say, I want to pull this vertex to this position, and then we can work out what proportions of different heads is required to get that vertex.
No, we're gonna have mega minds.
It's very, very cool. Behind the scenes, we can't just adjust the face into certain shapes and be happy with it. We have to also change the rig. We also have to change the corrective blend shapes.
But we've also kept the original DNA blending as well, but we've tried to improve the user experience of that as much as possible.
Now you have a full list of heads at your disposal, so you can see all the heads available, and you can tweak, you can take a bit of the nose from that face, you can take the eyes from that face easily. It's quick to use.
Yeah, so the PU is very modern, sleek looking look. We're trying to go for like almost like the Apple Vision Pro look. But yeah, it's very modern compared to your Squadron, and it's a lot more in-date, I guess you could say.
Basically trying to reduce the number of mouse clicks it takes to get what you're looking for.
So some of the other things that you can do in the DNA section is the skin tone adjustment, as well as the skin material or the skin texture itself.
You can make a ginger!
So what you can do within this is you can actually skin tone adjust this into realistic shades of certain skin tones to better represent yourself.
Your freckles, and we have some blemishes on there.
And these represent actual scans of people that we've done throughout the course of the years, and we've actually scanned a whole bunch more that we will be adding to the pool as time goes on.
But we are always making that pool larger. So the faces are always going to look better and better and have more variations in them. So the next big aspect is hair.
Within the hair section, there's a whole bunch of new hairstyles, which is obviously the first and most
go.
important thing. One of the interesting things, and the teams I represent worked really, really hard on this to have some hair simulation onto it. So you can see the hair move around as you're...
Chat, we have a notoriously horrible character builder, and it is 1,000 times better than it used to be.
even selecting it. And then as you add it onto the character, you can see it move around even more.
But better than that, you now also have a massive library of beards and facial hair and eyebrows as well. So you can mix and match to get exactly what you're after. Instead of what we had before, where you could cycle through hairs, you could cycle through hair colors. You now have a massive library of all the hairs.
Whereas in the previous character customizer, we just had a bunch of preset material variants. For the new character customizer, we want to give the player the power to go in and actually edit those materials.
What's even cooler about this now is, though we had the hair selections before, you could never tint it. You could never come up with your own color set.
We can go in and we can change the natural color of the hair. We can change the dye amount.
But we also have the new
sick.
gradient system where you can choose to have one dye color for the roots of your hair, another dye color for the tips of your hair, and then you can set where the gradient changes.
Not only do we have like a blonde hair, but then we have a purple highlight that's done at the end or done at the top, and that's all player configurable. So not only do you have a whole bunch of different hairstyles to choose from, but
Holy
you've got the
shit.
full color gamut as well.
And all of that is brand new functionality that we've added to a character customizer, so we can update the shader params on the hair in real time.
So my favorite aspect of the new facial hairstyles is the variety. We have a large library for being the first version of this, and it's going to grow even more within the coming years.
And as we've begun to include more culturally diverse hairstyles in 3.23, the team is working on more that will be seen in the patches to come.
So the third major aspect of the new character customizer is styling.
The makeup is another completely new feature for the new character customizer.
You'll be able to pick
But are they going to wipe our characters all the time? And I'm going to spend 9 hours making a character and then you're going to wipe my character again?
your makeup for eyes, your cheeks, and your lips.
We actually used to have makeup baked into the textures where we had already pre-selected eyeliners and all these kind of things to represent what that given skin tone was. But we wanted the player to make that choice. We wanted the player to have access to all the different gamuts of colors, all the different specular reactions, all the different highlights that they may want to do for their character.
For each of these, you will have some base versions that you can pick from, but you can also go in and tweak these on a deeper level. You can set the opacity, you can set different colors for, you can have one color for the eyeliner, one for the eyeshadow.
Like the hair, we can set certain colors and parameters on the makeup, so that's like how glossy it is and the opacity of the makeup. Unlike the hair, we actually set the shape of the makeup as well, and the way that we do that is we're basically adding new textures to the skin material on the players. And again, we update all of that in real time, and that is also quite similar to the new freckles and sunspots, how they work. That's again another texture that we've added to the player character's skin, and then we can tweak these parameters on the shader in real time to show more or less freckles or more or less sunspots.
So we just get a lot
So when it comes to
more.
the different styles and what you can achieve in the character customizer, it's been a constant push and pull of making it look really good, really realistic, and letting people just do what they want. And we've been trying to keep it as realistic as possible, but still letting people do exactly what they want with it, because we're leaving so much power in the hands of the players. They can tweak all these different colors and all of their different, on their hair, their facial hair, their eyebrows, as well as these different makeup sections. And it can get pretty zany.
So the makeup itself is actually a fairly complex feature behind the hood, but in the end, I think it actually presents as a pretty fun interaction to changing up the skin tone and, again, representing yourself within the world of Star Citizen.
So the fourth main feature is all the additional functionality. We'll have a review page where you can see your character.
This is when you're actually taking a look at your character as a whole, from the toes all the way to the top of the head.
Another part of the core functionality of this is the randomization. So now we allow players to both randomize the whole thing. So you get a totally new look, so you get a good canvas to start off of.
Now, one of the really fun things about the character creator, and I didn't mention at CitizenCon and definitely should have, is that we do have the save and load functionality finally within the character creators.
So you'll be able to export your character onto your
Huge!
PC and find that file.
Oh my god.
Send it to your friend, and they can import that into their game and see that character on their machine.
So no longer will you have to worry about a reset or anything. You can save your character, you can reload it.
You can not only save your character to persistence and get it to load into a PU, but you can save a bunch of characters that you can then just load in at any time into the character customizer. And you can also send these to other players that they can then load in your custom-made characters as well. And this is the exact same tool that we're using internally at CIG to create NPCs that we're rolling out to all players in 3.23.
Oh my god,
And
this
I'd
is
like
huge.
to take this very
so
rare
big.
opportunity to ask you guys and to challenge you guys to make a version of Jared and share it with the community and with us so that we can see how close you've gotten. And if there's one I really like, maybe I'll do something pretty terrible with it.
What I'm really hoping to see is a hyper-realistic Chris Perry that someone could send to me for reasons. So that's what's coming in 3.23. But in the future, we'll also be adding tattoos, piercings, stubble, and more eye settings. So you're gonna be able to do even more customization at that point.
So this is a major milestone for Star Citizen because finally the presentation is exactly at a state that we wanted. So many different teams have been involved in this, from lighting to environments, to feature teams, to tech art, to tech animation, to animation programming. Everyone has seen this, has been involved in this, and it's gone all the way up through the chain, through to executive approval. So it's finally to a state where Chris has actually been happy with it and that we could release it to the community.
Really happy. We put a lot of time and effort into getting it to where we want it to be today, so it's come a long way. Particularly happy with like how it's just easy to use, and you can basically go from like scratch and just completely start from a clean slate and just create whatever you want, really.
You're gonna be able to express yourself with your characters so much more than before. And you're gonna be able to see everyone in the verse really being themselves or whoever they want to be out there.
I like that.
I think that we have made one of the strongest character customizers that's out there at this point, and we are very proud of this.
I would be too. Look at that shit.
So, what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that the character customizer in Alpha 3.23 is dope as that is the next major milestone in our continuing efforts to enable better representation and customization of your player avatars in the verse. And that
We got that.
even more options,
We got that W.
things like tattoos, scarrings, and even more are on their way after that. And, of course, if you don't want to spend time creating your avatar, you can just hit the little randomize button down there and see what you get. Random, 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 random. Oh,
That's cute.
Hi, I'm David. I have to read the teleprompter. I'm the producer for ISC. I make it possible for Jared to do stupid things like this. And I'm British. That's it, just British. I say things like peanut butter, water, and rubbish. And I'm always explaining to others why Jared did things like this. And I'm good at my job. Aw. But my job is being British. Teleprompter. What's that line? What was that?
We like to have fun. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us
I
share
love
the
it.
process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
It was huge W. Huge W. Huge. Huge W. Ladies and gentlemen.
Are we recording?
Yeah, rolling.
All right. So normally at the end of the show here, we would have a meme image. It's funny, haha. David, do we have anything this week?
We're going to have one thing, but we're not allowed to show it yet.
Oh, the one thing we're not allowed to show yet. Well, I mean, who wants to live forever? Hold on. I get out of here. There we go. This is a long bit of. Can you see this? No, this way. What is this? Wow. Yeah. What sounds do the birds make? Clearly, never heard what a bird sounds like before in our lives.
Is that better? Is that what you wanted?
Huge! Huge chat! Massive fucking W!
At first glance,
Huge, 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 huge. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to do those things. I'm actually blown away. I'm actually blown away that we're going to get to create characters and save them and export them and move them around, dude. I'm so grateful to the CIG gods. Look at all these helmets this motherfucker has in the background. God damn.